Dave, I have what I think is a kind of a cute idea.
What's that, Paul?
Well, I think that I came up with a kind of a cute nickname for one of us guys in the band. I think one of the musicians should have a kind of a cute nickname, so I got a nickname for Will Lee.
Yeah, Will Lee.
Yeah.
Our bass player.
The Tramp. What do you say?
You're just nuts.
All right, I'm crazy.
You know, I do want to mention something. Speaking of television, excuse me, too much soda. The most exciting... Now, see if you don't agree with this, Paul.
Okay.
I discovered something this morning. The most exciting thing on television today. What do you think that would be? On a regular basis, the most exciting thing on TV.
Jeopardy?
No. You're very,
I said
very
that
close.
because you were talking about Jeopardy.
Yeah, but you're
What
very,
is-
very close. Well, it's the brand new concentration here on NBC, I believe.
Oh,
Alex Trebek is the host.
my favorite.
Yeah. After one of the contestants
Canadian,
solves-
you know. He's
Huh?
Canadian.
Canadian.
He's Canadian.
Yeah. It's like that Wild West days they have out there in Calgary all of a sudden. It's like a...
That's right. It's the Stampede.
So, yeah, the Calgary Stampede here tonight. So... Maybe if we give them some cheese, they'll go away. So now the puzzle has been solved by one of the contestants. And then Alex says, let me go over to the board now and show you how they solved the puzzle. And that, for me, when Alex goes to the board to show you how they solved the puzzle, well, I'm in heaven.
That is exciting.
He goes right to the board. He doesn't... There's no pointer or anything, and he does kind of like this. He said, there you have the T, there you have the arrows pointing at the bell, there you... And then he shows you how they solved the puzzle. It's magic. It's television magic, seriously. We have a couple of rows of mice enjoying the show tonight.
I wonder if he could explain how they solved that Soul Train scramble board when they...
And now, see, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that's on Soul Train when they have a contestant. He says the first person to solve the big Soul Train. They got 1 million letters, and you know, 2 black kids go like this, and it says Marcus Garvey out of nowhere. You know? And there's no possible way they could know.
See, I think it would be tough for Alex Trebek, a white Canadian, to go on to Soul Train and solve that puzzle. I could be mistaken.
Maybe you're right.
But he's darn good at... Well, watch for it. You'll see what I mean. Welcome back to the program. On the show tonight, Alex Trebek, Robert Cray, and the Memphis Horns.
Yes, the
you
actual
guys sound
Memphis
great.
Horns.
Yeah, nice to have you here again. Kimmy Robertson from Twin Peaks, your favorite program.
I love that show.
Yeah, you know what's on tonight, by the way, is the big super hit over there on CBS, Flash.
Flash, this is your favorite.
My new favorite program because the guy can run. He's like a guy in his late 20s. He can run 600 miles an hour.
Wow.
And guess what? He fights crime.
And he does that, too.
Wouldn't it be funny if he didn't fight crime? He just hung around running 600 miles an hour. Need anything from the store? No.
That would be
He's an
silly.
errand boy. He runs errands. He's
That'd
a
be
messenger in New York. He runs 600 miles an hour. He gets his own show. You know how he can run 600 miles an hour,
How does he do that?
How can he? In a word? You want to know how?
Yeah.
In one
What's
word?
the word?
Steroids.
I see.
You know, when I turned down the offer to host Jeopardy, they called our next guest. You know, Merv's wife actually invented that game.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
After they split up?
Did not get a penny.
Nothing.
He is also the author of what's sure to be the hot Christmas gift this season. It's the Jeopardy book, right here. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen, the Jeopardy book. Please say hello, folks, to Alex Trebek. Good to have you here. Thank you much for being on the show. Now, you are Canadian, aren't you?
Yeah, I am Canadian,
from?
and you realize that with Paul playing the theme, Merv's going to get extra bucks.
Yeah, now that's what I heard this morning. You were on the Regis and Kathy Lee show talking about that. Now, Merv wrote the song.
Yeah, it's called Time for Tony, his
Right.
son.
Uh-huh.
Did you know that Merv Griffin's wife came up with the idea for Jeopardy?
Now, let's talk a little bit about, first of all, where in Canada are you from?
Northern Ontario, a place
Northern
called
Ontario.
Sudbury. I don't know if that's close to
Sudbury,
Paul's home.
Ontario. Sure, it's close to me.
Paul
Where are
is
you from?
Thunder Bay.
Thunder
Yeah.
Bay. Oh, that's the
Yeah.
cold part.
Yeah,
Sudbury's
even
only
colder than
44
Sudbury.
below.
And you worked up there in the CBC for a while?
Yeah, I started in Ottawa in 1960. Then I spent 10 years in Toronto. Came to the United States in 1973 to host The Wizard of Odds. I was the Wizard of Odds.
What was that show where you and the
High
contestant
rollers.
Yeah, the high rollers with the big dice.
That was very popular
yeah,
because people love gambling.
Yeah.
You got any money on the fight tonight?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. I have $10 with Mary Connolly.
Who are you picking?
I'm picking.
Mary Connolly.
No. I want Buster to win. But you know, he weighs like 246 pounds.
They ought to put him in with George Foreman.
Yeah, I think so. But it would be nice to see him win. But I'm afraid he's not going to. But whatever happens, I'm going to tomorrow pretend like I predicted it tonight.
I wouldn't want to bet against. I wouldn't want to bet against a guy who outweighed you by 40 pounds, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. You have money on the fight?
No, I don't gamble, but I'm going to go watch it.
Now tell me about the game shows you've done. You mentioned Wizard of Odds.
High Rollers.
High Rollers.
I did Battle Stars, which I used to refer to as the son of Hollywood Squares, because we had just 6 celebrities instead of 9. Mm-hmm. We had triangles instead of boxes.
I kind of remember that show.
And it was a great job because I would ask a celebrity a question, the celebrity would give a funny answer, I would laugh, and then go on to the next question. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Then I'd grab my check, go home.
Yeah. Okay, Battle Stars. Then what happened?
We did a tough one over at CBS that lasted 6 months. It was called Double Dare, probably the toughest quiz show I've ever done.
Yeah.
That's one reason it only lasted 6 months.
Any other after Double Dare before Jeopardy?
Did the $128,000 question. I do classic concentration now on this network.
Yeah.
And Jeopardy.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting because in those days, were you thinking to yourself, what's going to become of me? Am I going to just go from one little game show to another? And then... No, but not that there's anything wrong with that, but... no, wait a minute. Hear me out, ladies and gentlemen, please. And now you get on to Jeopardy, and it seems to be the perfect combination.
It is a good combination because I really enjoy the show. I did a high school quiz show in Canada before coming to the U.S. It was called Reach for the Top, in which I was dealing with...
I used to love that. Yeah, go ahead. Tap me out. Turn my lights off right here.
When's the last time a Canadian struck you? Paul, did you ever hit him?
No, this would be the first.
Yeah.
But it was...
you're on his side suddenly.
Canadians stick together.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Who signs your checks, Paul?
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Letterman.
You better stick with him.
Yeah.
Check that landed immigrant status, too, son.
I got my card with me.
No green card for Paul.
Anyway, the game show up in Canada, the high school show.
Yeah, it was good training for Jeopardy because people had to be bright in order to score well, and the same is true of Jeopardy. And I think it says something about the American public that they really like Jeopardy. It's the only show of its kind, although there are a few imitators now. But even those people who don't come up with any correct responses in a whole half-hour show enjoy the program.
Yeah.
So it says something about
and
America.
I play along when I'm at home and I see the show, and I'm good for like the $10 and $20 categories. I can handle those.
That's on the old show.
That's on the old show.
We have 100, 200, 300, 400,
all right, those I can answer. The
in
one
the
or two.
Jeopardy round. You're expected to get those.
First letter in the alphabet. You know, I'm right there. I got it. But what I sometimes don't do, and honestly, if I don't do it, I don't penalize myself for it. I sometimes, to myself, I don't phrase my answer in the form of a question. But
How dare you? Are you trying to ruin a show that was created by Merv Griffin's wife? Left her penniless?
Now, does Merv still... He has nothing to do with this show anymore, does he?
No, Merv, as you know, is a big crossword puzzle fan. So he sits up and dreams a lot of the puzzles up for Wheel of Fortune. That's his pet. He doesn't come around Jeopardy.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, here's a man who has contributed significantly to modern culture. Because these are two shows, this Wheel of Fortune thing, it's been on forever and it still, I guess, dominates in syndication.
It's still #1 in syndication.
And
we haven't been able to catch it in 7 years.
But Jeopardy is #2.
We're #2. We're the second most successful program ever in syndication.
And these are both of his...
From Merv Griffin. And so he's created some very successful programs. He sold them, of course, to Coca-Cola years ago for a couple $100 million. He is still the chairman of the board of Merv Griffin Enterprises, and that's part of the Sony Corporation, which produces the shows.
The Sony Corporation? Merv has a deal with the Sony Corporation?
Well, yeah, he heads up Merv Griffin Enterprises.
Man, I think we all are now wishing we had been nicer to Merv.
I think so, because I heard him say the other day that he was planning a Son of Jeopardy, and he wanted to ask you to host it.
No, I think not.
No? Don't think you could pass that one?
Now, do you get people on there? Now, the people who get on the show have to be really good. They've passed some kind of screening test.
They take a test, first of all, that is composed of 50 questions.
Yeah.
If you don't score at least 35 on that test,
You're
you
on
go
the
no
bus.
further.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you do, then you wind up playing in a mock version of Jeopardy against other individuals. Right. And if you have personality, you might wind up on the program. If you have no personality at all, you could wind up doing a talk show. Yeah.
See, you're lucky. You're lucky because I was about to say no personality, you get to host. That's what I was going to say.
It was foolish of me. Mea culpa. I should not have tried to ad-lib with you.
Now, but anyway, sometimes because of nerves or the heat of the moment, sometimes they will say something not dumb, but a misanswer that's sort of amusing. And did you have trouble? You can't really laugh at them.
Well, the game moves so quickly. No, we don't laugh at our contestants.
It's a tough game.
We do have fun with them. We had one lady in our seniors tournament, and she was a forensic pathologist here in the state of New York. And I said, what do you do? And she told me we examine tissue to find out what kind of disease is there. So I said, you don't deal with me if I'm alive, right? She says, no, Alex, we won't touch you if you're alive. And I said, you're not the first woman to have said that. And, but that's about as wild as we get on Jeopardy. We're kind of a straight, you know. This is not like your bookmobile lady.
Nuts, yeah. Well, geez, congratulations on the success of this thing. It shows no indication of slowing down, and I think it's a great combination, you and the game. It works perfectly.
Well, it's lucky. I'm fortunate to be doing that, and then I get silly on Classic Concentration in the daytime here on NBC.
You know, so Wendell, you used to host this show, didn't you? Didn't you were involved in Concentration years ago? No? Oh, Tic-Tac-Toe, another show, a long time ago.
It's another one that they're bringing back. They're bringing back a lot of game shows.
Yeah, there's big money in that sort of thing, isn't there?
There isn't. If you create them, there is very big money.
Yeah, all right. We got to go.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Alex. Thank you very much for being here. Alex, Hey! How are you doing? For the last 10 years, our next guest has been the host of the grandfather of them all, Jeopardy! Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the program Mr. Know-It-All, Alex Trebek! Nice to see you again, Alex.
Thank you. That's the fastest think music I've ever heard.
That was great.
Jeopardy!
I know something about that theme. I was told this afternoon. I guess it's no secret that Merv Griffin and/or his wife created Jeopardy. Is that right?
Right.
But I was told this afternoon that the little Think It Over Final Jeopardy music was actually written by Merv Griffin. Is that true?
Yes. It's called Time for Tony. He wrote it for his son, Tony.
Yeah.
And every time it is played on our program, and it is probably played about 6 or 7 times, Merv gets a royalty.
Ah.
Show's been on the air for 10 years.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
You know who does a great version of that music? 9 Inch Nails. Unbelievable.
Really?
Absolutely knock your head off.
The one group I missed at Woodstock.
These guys are great.
Listen, you're starting to give me a complex.
What's the matter?
Well, you introduced me off the top of the show today as the smartest man in the world.
Yes.
On Friday, you referred to me as Mr. Smart Alex, Mr. Know-It-All, Mr. Phrase It in the Form of a Question. I'm starting to feel like Charlie Brown. Why are you always picking on me?
I think that over the years, people have become very, very impressed, if not by your own intelligence, certainly by your association with other smart people.
Did he just nail me again?
No. Let's talk a little bit about your early years. You're Canadian. Your early years in Canadian broadcasting, you worked for, I'm assuming, the CBC?
CBC, Canadian Broadcasting
Now, to me, that always paints kind of a romantic picture, and I don't know why. It must have been very exciting.
The CBC was not really an exciting network to work for. It was very low-key. We had intelligent people working for the network, and we did a lot of talk radio. I started in the morning. You know, I'm hosting Good Morning America this week.
Yeah, you know, I saw you there this morning on Good Morning America.
you want to go one step further, or are you going to leave it there?
No, I just woke up and I said to myself, why? Now, why? How did he get up this early?
It's easy getting up this early. I've got a 1-year-old daughter at home. She gets me up 2-3 times a night. And I started in Toronto doing a morning show from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Now, I had come out of late night news, and now all of a sudden I'm getting up at 4:15 in the morning, and the producer was a little worried that I might not be able to make it. So we recorded a special first half-hour safety tape in case I was ever late. And I said, don't worry about it, guys. I'm never going to be late. I'll always get up. I figured, I was younger then. I figured if I got to bed by 1 o'clock, I'd be okay to get up at 4:15.
So you're talking about 3 hours and 45 minutes of sleep is pretty much all you need then, huh?
I was very young in those days, David. And even in spite of that, the producer and the crew members started taking a pool as to how long it would be before I missed signing on the station at 5 o'clock in the morning. And we went on in September, and sure enough, in November, about mid-November, I woke up at 3 minutes after 5. And I said, oh my God.
You're done.
I said, that's it, I'm going to lose the bet. Started dressing real quickly, and I turned on the radio station. I said, why aren't they playing the safety tape? We did the half-hour tape. It would cover me. And I lived 3 blocks from the radio station, and I ran like mad to the radio station, and as I'm running up the stairs to go in the building, I looked behind me, and I said, geez, there's a lot of traffic for 5 o'clock in the morning. And one of the guys was coming out, and he says, hi, Alex, you working tonight? I said, what? I had taken a nap in the afternoon and awakened at 5 p.m. That's when I decided that I should get to bed before 1 o'clock in the morning.
This is some videotape now of your early television work for the CBC.
Music Hop.
This is a show that's like American Bandstand here in the United States with Dick Clark. What year is this?
This goes back to 1964-65, and Music Hop was a little different from Bandstand because we were a live variety show, half-hour weekly. It was a precursor to Hullabaloo and Shindig, and we had live performers every week on the network.
All right, here we go. Alex Trebek, Music Hop, live from Toronto.
1960.
And now, here's your host of Music Hop, Alex Trebek.
Thanks, Norm. Hi, kids, and welcome back to Music Hop. Boy, have we got a terrific half hour lined up for you today. And we're going to start things jumping right now with a guy I know you're really going to like. His name is Robbie Lane, and he's going to sing the flip side of Bossa Nova Baby, Elvis Presley's big hit, Witchcraft.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Pudgy, no mustache, straight hair.
Still, but even then, you were doing a great job. Yeah. Had kind of a Woodstock going there, didn't you?
Yes. We had a lot of nice people up here on that show. We had Anne Murray before she became internationally
Gordon
famous.
Lightfoot.
Gordon Lightfoot. David Clayton Thomas. Paul was never a guest on Music Hop.
I watched it every day after school, though.
You really remember that?
Absolutely.
Wait a minute. He watched it every day after school?
Yes, well, it was on once. It was on a different day from a different center of Canada, but you were on Thursdays. Norma Matteo and the Rhythm Rockers.
Paul,
Red
just
Shan
how old
guitar.
do you think I am?
I was a kid. I was like 3. And you...
I get it from him. I get it from you.
Alex, what is time to go?
The answer is now.
Yes. Nice job. Okay. Alex Trebek, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with Wendy Liebman. See you, ladies and gentlemen. I said it again. Welcome back to the big program. Ladies and gentlemen, here in my right hand, I have a copy of tonight's top 10 list. Paul, let me ask you a question. Are you familiar with the show, the very popular syndicated game show called Jeopardy?
Who isn't, of course.
Hosted by a fellow Canadian, I believe, Alex
That's
Trebek.
correct.
Well, look at this. Tonight's top 10 list. Top 10 rejected
Yes.
Jeopardy categories.
Ah,
You know,
okay.
every day on the game, they have many dozens and dozens of categories. Here we have
Categories.
the top 10 rejected Jeopardy categories. And
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, we're very happy because tonight, presenting the top 10 list all the way through the miracle of videotape from Los Angeles, California, is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek. Hi, Alex. How the hell
Hi,
are you?
Dave. Hi, everyone.
Nice to see you. Okay. Top 10 now, rejected Jeopardy categories. Here we go, number 10.
Things Cher has had done to her.
All right. That's one of them all-day categories. Number 9.
All about chafing.
All about chafing. Number 8.
Exciting shows on at the same time as Jeopardy.
Rejected categories. Number 7.
Things that smell like eggs.
Oh, what would that be? That would be like eggs and...
Eggs and eggs.
Number 6.
Eatos, Tito's, and Fritos.
Oh, that's a good category right there. Quite a category there. Number 5.
Canadian sex secrets.
Okay. Number 4.
Things that throb.
Number 3.
Diseases caused by watching game shows.
Yep. Number 2.
Guys I, Alex Trebek, have beat the crap out of.
He's a tough guy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Alex Trebek, the number 1 rejected Jeopardy category.
Gap-toothed freaks.
We'll be right back here with Gina Gershon from Showgirls.